When you know what's right for you, you're on your way to being a well-being. Learn how with personalised advice from Blackmores.
Welcome to this week's injury update brought to you by Blackmores. We've got a handful of injuries to report on and the status thereof this week. Leading off, Ben Reid, late in our game against GWS, suffered a strain to his quad muscle. Scans confirmed that yesterday, so he'll be missing for probably 3 to 4 weeks. It could be 4+, but we'll just treat that symptomatically through the journey of the rehab period. Adam Treloar missed last week with an ankle complaint. He's recovered from that, and we expect him to train fully this week and subsequently to be available for selection. Timmy Broomhead in the VFL suffered a concussion. He'll have a test later this week. We think he should be okay, but he'll do the Cogstate test, which is the norm for these types of incidents, and he'll do that later this week to judge whether he'll get the all clear or not. Jesse White in the same game suffered a hamstring strain in the third quarter of our VFL match. He could be missing for up to a month with that, Jess. So we'll see how that goes, but that's the early report on that one. Travis Farko, he had a slight setback on the track. That'll mean we'll slow down the recovery in his rehab process just to ensure that we get a really clean recovery. That'll mean it'll set him back a couple of weeks. We'll assess that probably the week after next, just on how quickly he is improving. Rupert Wills has been battling that calf injury. I'd still say that Rupert would be 1 to 2 weeks away, possibly closer to 2 weeks away from returning to play. He's hasn't been able to throw it totally as yet. He's improving, but that's a slow burn. Adam Oxley has had the hip groin complaints that he's also been battling for a few weeks. The doctors are a bit concerned about that. It may be something that we look at surgery. We'll make a final assessment on that later this week. But unfortunately for Ox, he could be in for a bout of surgery. Then that decision will be taken, as I said, at the back end of this week. Braden Sire with that eye socket injury, still giving him some trouble, particularly with head movement, and pounding on the ground type stuff is still worrying him to some extent. We hope that he can do enough training later this week to be cleared, but he's still subject to that medical clearance, and we'll see how he comes up later this week. And of course, Ben Sinclair, as we know, is rehabbing really well with his hamstring injury. He's starting to join in some of the warm-up exercises with training now. He's progressing really well. We'd still think that he's going to be around the bye period, but certainly all indications are that he's training strongly in terms of the program that's been set. That's all we've got this week, and we'll see you again after the Hawthorn match.